Hey everybody, it's Corey the Pawn Guy here, and today we're going to talk about something that has been a staple in the pawn shop industry for as long as they've been around. We're talking about televisions. With TVs, there's about 7 key factors that you're going to want to take note of before you bring it into a pawn shop. So let's cover those right now. If we're going to discuss TVs, we should probably have a TV. The first key we're going to talk about is the brand. Now, the brand of the TV is going to be found either in the corner here, or it's going to be found in the middle. Maybe it could be found on the other corner. Let's not get stuck on little things. But the brand matters a lot. You're going to find some lower end brands. If you're balling on a budget, you might be watching a Westinghouse or a TCL. If you didn't spring for the extra nice one, then you could be sitting on a Philips or a Vizio, something like that. And then if you did spend all that money, you might have gone for a Samsung or a Sony. Now, those are the top of the line ones. And it matters when you bring it in because you're going to get more money for the nicer items. The next thing we're going to talk about for a key is the technology. This means if your TV is an LED, OLED, QLED, plasma TV, there's different kinds. Some companies have their own kinds. So Samsung is QLED, where if you go to LG, you'll find OLED. The way to find this out, because it can be confusing, is to just look up the model number, which is found on the back. We'll talk about that in a minute. And that's going to tell you what it is, I'm sure, when you look up the specs of the TV. Just like with everything else in life, size matters. We all know it. The bigger, the better. So when it comes to TVs, same thing. The more inches you have on your TV, the more money you're going to get. There are some standard sizes. Usually the smallest come around 19 inches. 32 is a very popular bedroom TV. You'll have 42, 50, 60, all the way up to 75. I mean, you can get TVs as big as, your wall now, like 108 inches or whatever it is. The way to find out how many inches your TV is by going on the back panel. Now, I'll show you a picture of it now just so you can see. A little trick is the first 2 digits in the model number is going to be how many inches your TV is. And this TV happens to be 50 inches. Let's stick with the back panel here and talk about our next major key, and that's going to be the manufacturing date. On this TV, it happens to be June 15th, 2018. So as of the taping of this video, it's just over 2 years old. That's perfect. When it gets to a little bit older than 5 years, then you're in a gray area where the pawn shop might not want to take it. Technology moves so quickly. It's tough to keep up with, so we don't want to get stuck, unfortunately, with an item that might not sell too easily if for some reason you loaned it and then didn't come back for it. So if you are watching TV on the same TV set that you watched the season premiere of MASH on, then unfortunately, they're probably not going to take your TV in. Sorry, Grandma. One of the things you're going to want to look into, which is the next key, is going to be the specs of your TV. This is going to be whether it's 4K or 1080p, the refresh rate, which comes usually in 60 or 120. If you have a plasma, you can even get 240 or 600, I've seen. This is the way that places make the TVs a little bit cheaper on their end and still have like the big wow factor of, saying it's 4K or a smart TV, is by lessening the refresh rate. So if it's a 60, this one's a 60. Hisense isn't the greatest brand, but if it's 120, that's usually on a nicer TV. It's going to cost you more money. So there's certain specs that will get you more when it comes in. Our next key is a sneaky one. Now, you don't often think of this, and maybe you keep yours good anyway, but keeping your TV clean before you bring it in is going to be a big deal. If you don't value your item, the pawn shop's not going to value your item. Those of you with kids, I know for a fact right now, your TV screen has smudges on it somewhere. Your TV could be 10 feet up on the wall mounted, and I promise you there's a finger mark somewhere on there. So just clean it off before you bring it in. If you're a smoker, there's like a yellow kind of tint that gets onto electronics. So definitely wipe it down. I personally use Windex and a soft paper towel. If you have your own way of cleaning the TV, why don't you comment down below the way that you clean it so that other people can see different ways that it can be done. All right, so our final key is going to be accessories. Let's take a look at some accessories. So here we have the original remote to the TV. It's important that you have the original remote because if for some reason, again, you lose your item and the pawn shop ends up putting it out for sale, they want to sell it with the original because people coming in aren't sometimes tech savvy. They don't want to have a universal remote, go tracking down the codes, putting the codes in, and not having to worry about all that. So the original remote is a big plus. If you're missing your remote, it's actually not that big of a deal. You can just go on Amazon or eBay and usually get them for between 10 and 15 bucks. And it might save you. Sometimes pawn shops don't even take them in without the remote. The next thing we have here is the power cord. You're definitely going to want to have this. If you don't have this, it's possible that the shop has one laying around that they can test your TV with. But if they don't, they're not going to take your TV. They're going to test it. A lot of times TVs come in that get cracked on the way over. So we have to test each one by just turning it on at least and making sure the screen is clear. Once it's clear, you're good to go. This is an HDMI cord. This is the cord that goes from your cable box to your TV. This you don't need, so don't worry about that. If you have it, I'm sure they'll take it, but it's just one more thing that they're gonna have to keep with your TV. So I'd say keep that at home. So let's discuss this particular TV and what you would be looking at if you came into a pawn shop with this. Now, if you looked on that back panel that we showed earlier, the model number is 50RGE. You look that up on Google, you're gonna find out that your Hisense TV is 60 Hertz, it's 4K, you have the remote, it's a Roku TV, that means it's smart, you have your power cord. So everything that goes into this is gonna be listed on Google. And what you're also gonna do is find out that as of this video being recorded, it goes for $248 at Walmart. Walmart's got good prices on TVs, what can I say? They're kind of hurting us at the pawn shop because this is where you're supposed to get your cheap TVs. But if you were to bring this TV into this shop today, you'd probably be looking at anywhere between $80 to $100 on a loan, maybe $1 to $120 if you were to sell it. And then if you came in here to buy this TV, I would probably have it out on the sales floor for about $200. I just want to thank you guys for watching this episode of Corey the Pawn Guy, where we discussed televisions and what goes into the pricing of them at the pawn shop. If you have any questions, please leave them down below. Subscribe, click the bell if you want to get notified when we come out with more content. We're going to really try and have some fun here in the coming months. So stay tuned and thanks again.